It is 7 o'clock on Thursday, November 14th. This is the regular city council meeting for the city of Alburnett. We will go ahead and call this meeting to order. If you'll please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, we'll do a roll call. Councilor Trum.
Present.
Councilor Rosenberg.
Present.
Councilor West.
Present.
Councilor Myers.
Present.
Let the record reflect that Councilor Sukup is absent, but we do have a quorum to conduct business. With that, I would seek a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Myers. Do I have a second? Second by Bosenberg. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Brings us to the sheriff's report, which you will find on pages 2 and 3 of your packet. So it was a busy month. So from October 10th through November 14th, there were 41 calls for service, and the required hours, 43 hours, were met. So you can see a range of calls in there. A lot of school resource, which we like to see. Kelly's in school working with the kids. Several traffic stops. I do believe that this does also include the time that we had the Roosevelt Street closed for the bus rerouting, and I do know they had quite a presence. We requested their presence during that time, so appreciate everything they do for the community. If you have anything, any questions or anything to report, you can let me know, and I'll get that over to Major Colston. Any questions before we move past the sheriff's report? Alright, hearing none. We have citizen comments. So we have two types of comments here in the city of Alburnett, those for agenda-related items and non-agenda-related items. We do ask that you state your name and address clearly for the record and limit comments to 5 minutes. So are there any citizen comments for agenda-related items? Hearing none. Any comments for non-agenda-related items? That brings us to the mayor's report. I have just a couple of things tonight. I would like to start with, we celebrated Veterans Day this week, so I would like to wish a happy belated Veterans Day to all of those veterans in and around our community and thank them for their service, especially one that happens to sit at the table with us. So thank you, TJ. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Secondly, welcome Rebecca. I know she was at our last meeting, but it was not official, so she's got 2 weeks under her belt, and I think her head has stopped spinning, or it's at least slowed down a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah. And then thank Vicki and Mac for everything you guys are doing. You're going to see it on the agenda, and you're going to see it around town. We are making some progress, so it's exciting. Without wearing them out, I feel like you've had a little bit of, I'm not going to say slow down, but things are at a manageable pace right now. So.
For sure.
Right. I still have got one nuisance update, so we do have two outstanding nuisance. One was given a deadline of December 1st, so they are still working on cleanup, and I will follow up with Lynn County following that deadline. The other is one that we are currently in litigation, and there is a court date set for, we have a contempt hearing set for November 25th. So that one is progressing, and I'll keep everyone posted on the outcome of that particular hearing. Last but not least, generator update. So all good news there. We got the contract signed. Met with Hawkeye Electric, have been in contact with ECI COG, who is helping to administer the grant for us. We hope to have work beginning this week. They were hoping to get the concrete pad poured. We did have a slight pause because ECI COG brought to our attention that we may have an issue having it too close to the wellhead, but we checked with the DNR, and I think we're good since it's natural gas and there's no storage of fuel. We should be good with where we want to have it placed, but we had quite a quick pause to get verification from the DNR on that. So generator should be coming shortly. that is my report. That takes us to council comments. I will start to my left with Councilor Myers.
Nothing at this time.
Councilor West. Councilor Rosenberg.
Yeah, nothing at this time.
Councilor Traum.
Nothing.
Perfect. Cruising right along, we'll go to written reports, and that starts on page 4 of your packet. And we will recognize someone from the fire department.
Hi everybody, I'm Berna, you probably know me. We do a lot of training, and if you can see in Ron's report, we had a house fire, and our people responded, and the house was a total loss. But we had a lot of mutual aid, and it worked out very well. We performed very well. That's half the battle, that's why we do all that training. And that's on the fire side. On the EMS side, we continue to do training. Our next training, we will have Dr. Tim Sagers come out on December 2nd, and he'll go over a multi-casualty incident with us and make sure that we understand what we're supposed to do in the order of things that are to take place. He's our medical director, by the way. And we've done CPR classes here for the public here lately, so we've done several classes here recently. So we're kind of up to speed.
Good attendance at those?
Yes.
So I do know there was a practice burn that was potentially being scheduled. Do we know if that's?
That has been set aside at the moment.
Okay.
We do have our newbies, our new people. They've been invited by Monroe Fire to do a practice burn this Sunday. It's a smaller house, and they'll be participating in that.
Wonderful. TJ, anything to add? Good? Any questions for Verna?
Is the new purchasing system making anything more smooth?
So far, so good, yes.
We still have gotten requests for smaller type supplies, and so Rebecca is aware. I've got it on her list of priorities for the procurement policy, because we'd love to get them a credit card so they don't even have to come to us for those types of things. So that's a little bit further down the road, but
That'd be nice.
yes, top of mind, we'll get you there. All right, next on the agenda, city administrator. So I recognize Rebecca McDonald. Didn't quite get it in the packet, so you've got it printed in front of you. Yes, it's with your agenda, so I have a copy of her report.
So I had the option to go after Mac, and I'm thinking I should have done that. I just kind of put down some tidbits from the first couple days here in the office. First, I'm excited and grateful to be part of the team. Coming from a public service background, this is my element. I'm learning all sorts of procedures and processes on the municipal side. I was with Lynn County for 9 years, so some new things, especially the lingo and the verbiage is important. I am getting myself acquainted with the list of projects and things that Bethany has provided me, and we will begin prioritizing those soon. I've gotten some good resources from the Iowa League of Cities and the Iowa City County Management Association websites. And I'm excited and looking forward to training opportunities and professional development through those organizations.
So I know part of the hire was goals within 90 days. I will say we've got kind of a list, we've gotten her started, so hopefully Rebecca and I will find some time next week to hammer out those goals. And we'll get those in front of council at the next meeting. But something I want her input on in the first 5 days was not realistic to get those set, so we'll start working on those. Any questions? Awesome. See, it's easy. Alright, next up is Mac. That's page 5 of your packet.
See if yours is easy.
What's that?
Hope yours is easy.
Yeah, pretty straightforward this month. Not a lot of updates. They did install the Resner heater today,
Steve Seating was able to do it quite a bit cheaper than the quote we had at the last meeting. Hesitant to say it, but I think well 3 is in service and it's showing good. So, yeah, cross your fingers. We had good water results. They came back. We showed them the DNR and they said run it. So that's all going well. Got some good projects done this month. The fire hydrant, that was one of the bigger ones. That went pretty smooth. I don't think we had a lot of complaints having to shut water off. Yeah, I mean the rest is pretty straightforward.
Lagoon valve was replaced.
Yeah, we did have to replace that. That was not fixable, so we just had to put in a whole new valve. The lift station, we did have a pump failure alarm on that, so I called Quality Flow Systems. They came down and figured out it's the breaker in the control panel, so Hawkeye Electric has ordered that, and hopefully we'll get that installed next week. So,
At least it wasn't my fault.
no, but
That's what I said.
yeah. Yeah, breaker's a lot cheaper fix than a new pump.
Any questions for Mac? One thing I meant to ask you to put it on here and forgot, but he has signed up for a, is it snow policy, snow removal training?
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Oh,
Or,
nice.
no, 2 days ago.
I was
yeah.
thinking it was tomorrow, so.
Yeah, no, that went good. They had lots of good information on snow policies and just techniques and stuff. Some of it was higher up. I mean, there's a lot of county level road grader operations. Some of that was a little out of our leagues, but yeah, it's some good info. It was a good conference.
I didn't get a chance. I was thinking it was tomorrow, so that's why I hadn't asked you about it, so.
Otherwise, very good with salt and everything, sand.
I got that all filled, yeah, and I put the salter on and the plow on the 550 today.
So now we won't need it for 2 more months.
That's good. Keep going.
That was our forecast.
Everything's working on it except for the turn signal on the plow. I gotta figure that out, but like call that a win, I guess. From
I'll take it for, yeah, just.
sitting all summer.
Alright, perfect. No questions for Mac. We'll move to City Clerk Treasury. So you've got Vicky's report. I can help field any questions there. Alright, hearing none. We've got the profit and loss. I'm actually probably gonna have us come back to that with new business A. So if you'll just wanna stay on page 7, that would be, or be able to come back to page 7. Unless there's any questions on the treasurer's report. Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Bozenberg, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trum, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion carries. Alright, new business, item A, set budget amendment public hearing for December 12th, 2024. So again, I'm gonna take you back to page 7 of your packet that has our current profit and loss. So we discussed it at the last meeting. What you will notice under, first and foremost, under expenses, the income portion we don't really have to worry about because those are all just projections. But when we need to do a budget amendment is that we cannot overspend our spending authority, which is what was granted to us by the residents with this year's budget. And so for fire department, which is line 150, you're gonna see that of the $60,400 that was budgeted, we have already spent $50,400, so we only have about $10,000 left in that budget. As mentioned, there was a $17,000 invoice that was budgeted last year that got paid this year. It was not paid in February when it was received, so it came out of this fiscal year's budget. So we would like to replace that money in the fire department budget. We also were, last fiscal year, sorry, I'm gonna go up one line to the police operations. Previous fiscal year, we were short in public safety, and in order to avoid a budget amendment, because we didn't have time and I didn't know how to do it, we worked with the sheriff's office to delay one of our payments. And so we do know we're gonna be one payment short, or we're gonna have an extra payment to make this year. And so we know we're gonna have to we'll just proactively add that in at this point. And then on page 8, I'll draw your attention to category 600, general government. So mayor, council, and city manager, we budgeted about $11,000 there for, would be for wages, and I'm not sure what else is under that category, wages, IPERS, those types of things. And we've already used $7,000, and with getting Rebecca on board, we know we're gonna need more in that bucket. Likewise, you'll see for clerk, treasurer, financial admin, we had 41,000 budgeted. We've already spent 26, and we're not halfway through the year yet. So we're gonna have to right size some of our wage buckets. I'm not sure where the shortage is coming from, but I don't have hard numbers on what we'll need to add to those yet. That'll be talked about at our public hearing, but that is the reasoning for why we're looking at this budget amendment at this time. So I just wanted to give some background. Vicki and I will go through it a little more closely and see if there's anywhere else that we're thinking that we're gonna possibly draw up short, but those look to be the 3 that we're gonna focus on. So with that, I would seek a motion to set the budget amendment public hearing for December 12th, 2024 at 7 p.m., which is during our normal meeting.
So moved.
Moved by West. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Myers. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right. Now we are all the way down to page 20, resolution 2024-41, approving the annual financial report for fiscal year 2024. I will read that in one moment, but if you go to page 21, what you're gonna see is some good news. So there's a line near the bottom, total expenditures and other financing uses. Our budget was $1,351,338, and we spent $1,281,176. So we were under budget for last year, which is good news. And then for revenues, we had projected our budget to be $1,126,086, and it was actually $1,284,888. So we had more revenue. A lot of that was in the form of grants, and maybe some additional late fees and things like that that had come in. So we under-projected our revenues, so we were higher on revenues and lower on expenses. So we had a good year last year, so that is the gist of the annual financial report. Any questions before I read through the resolution? Alright, hearing none. Resolution 2024-41, approving the annual financial report for fiscal year 2024. Whereas the City of Alburnett has completed the preparation of its annual financial report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024, in accordance with Iowa Code Section 384.22, which requires cities to prepare and submit an annual financial report detailing the financial condition and activities of the city. Whereas the annual financial report provides a comprehensive overview of the city's financial activities, including revenues, expenditures, assets, and liabilities, and is essential for maintaining transparency and accountability in the city's financial operations. And whereas Iowa Code Section 384.22 further requires that the annual financial report be filed with the Auditor of State no later than December 1st each year and made available for public inspection. And whereas the City Clerk of the City of Alburnett has completed the annual financial report and recommends its submission upon review of the City of Alburnett City Council. Now therefore it be resolved by the City Council of the City of Alburnett, Iowa, that the annual financial report for fiscal year 2024 is hereby approved as presented. And be it further resolved that the City Clerk is authorized to submit the approved annual financial report to the Auditor of State by the deadline of December 1st in accordance with Iowa Code Section 384.22, and to ensure the report is accessible to the public as required by state law. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-41 as read?
I'll make a motion, we accept the resolution 2024-41.
Motion by Bozenberg, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trum, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Alright, next item on the agenda, Resolution 2024-42, approving the FY24 Annual Street Financial Report. You'll find that resolution on page 32, and the report itself starts on page 33. We did not have any street-related projects last year, so this is a very similar to report to previous year. So it just outlines salaries put towards streets, expenses like street lights, pothole filling, operational equipment, those types of things. So very similar report to last year. Any questions on the street report? I've got Resolution 2024-42, approving the annual street finance report for fiscal year 2024. Whereas the City of Alburnett has prepared its annual street finance report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024 in accordance with Iowa Code Section 312.14, which mandates that cities provide a report detailing all street-related revenues and expenditures. Whereas the annual street finance report provides essential information on the use of street-related funds, ensuring transparency and accountability in the city's financial management of its street infrastructure. And whereas the Iowa Code Section 312.14 requires the annual street finance report be filed with the Iowa Department of Transportation no later than December 1st each year. And whereas the city clerk of the City of Alburnett has completed the annual street finance report and recommends its submission upon review of the City of Alburnett City Council. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Alburnett, Iowa, that the annual street finance report for fiscal year 2024 is hereby approved as presented. Be it further resolved that the city clerk is authorized to submit the approved annual street finance report to the Iowa Department of Transportation by the deadline of December 1st in accordance with the Iowa Code Section 312.14, and to ensure the report is accessible to the public as required by state law. We have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-42 as read.
I move we adopt resolution 2024-42.
Motion by Trum, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Myers, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Alright, one more. 'Tis the season. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2024-43, approving the FY 23-24 Urban Renewal Report. So the resolution itself is on page 40 of your packet. The report starts on page 41. We are still making payments on our TIF district, which is within the urban renewal area. We are not collecting any more income, any taxes on that. We have collected all that we need in order to meet our obligation. And so that is all this is saying, is that we had no more property tax come in for TIF, but we do still have payments that are going up. Any questions on this one?
How much longer are we gonna be tied to making payments going on here?
Great question. So you'll see on the report, there's somewhere on the report that it says it's scheduled through FY 28. However, because we've already collected all of the money, it does look like Rex that we've been working towards a more escalated schedule, and our last payment is July of 26. So FY 27 is when we will make our last payment. There's actually one on the claims for tonight, so we make those payments in December and must be June of 26. So we make them in December and June. Great question. Any other questions on the annual urban renewal report? All right, Resolution 2024-43, approving the annual urban renewal report for fiscal year 2023-2024. Whereas the City of Alburnett has prepared its annual urban renewal report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024 in accordance with Iowa Code Chapters 331.403 subsection 3, 357H.9 subsection 2, and 384.22 subsection 2, as amended by HF 2460, the Urban Renewal Reporting Act of 2012, excuse me, threw an extra 20 in there, 2012, which requires all cities to provide a detailed report of projects, including financial data on revenues, expenditures, outstanding debt within active urban renewal areas, and any associated tax increment financing districts. Whereas the Urban Renewal Report serves as a key resource for ensuring transparency in the administration of urban renewal funds and projects, providing the public and state authorities with an accurate account of urban renewal financial activities. And whereas Iowa Code Section 384.22 subsection 2 further mandates that the annual urban renewal report be submitted to the Department of Management no later than December 1st each year. And whereas the city clerk of the City of Alburnett, Iowa has completed the annual urban renewal report and recommends its submission upon review of the City of Alburnett City Council, now therefore it be resolved by the City Council of the City of Alburnett, Iowa, that the annual urban renewal report for fiscal year 2024 is hereby approved as presented. Be it further resolved that the city clerk is authorized to submit the approved annual urban renewal report to the Iowa Department of Management by the deadline of December 1st in accordance with Iowa Code Section 384.22 subsection 2, and to ensure the report is accessible to the public as required by state law. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-43 as read?
So moved.
Ooh, there are lots of them. I'm gonna give that one to Myers. Motion by Myers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Guys are so much fun. Second by West. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, down to page 51. So this is under new business, item E, resolution 2024-44, approving backup snow removal quote. So we went out for bid, or went out for quotes for backup snow removal. This did come in handy last year. We're able to call in as needed, so we kind of have them on standby. But we have contracted amounts so that we're not negotiating that every time we call them in. So we posted this on the city website, as well as in the Gazette and 3 places around town. And we received one quote from Hanley Dirt Works. That is who we worked with last year as well. So you will see the quote in your packet is on page 52, and he just quotes us his hours. So skid loader with operator for $95. You can read through them. I believe these are pretty flat from last year, if I do remember correctly. If so, they might have gone up slightly, but not much. Any questions on backup snow removal or Hanley's quote in particular? Alright, hearing none, I was going to read resolution 2024-44, approving contractor for backup snow removal. Whereas the City of Alburnett, Iowa recognizes the need for effective and reliable snow removal services to ensure safe passage on municipal streets, sidewalks, and public areas during the winter season. Whereas the city has determined that in addition to Alburnett Public Works as the primary snow removal, backup support is necessary to manage high snowfall events, emergencies, or other situations. And whereas the city sought quotes and posted notification to contractors, and whereas one quote was received and is as follows. Again, contractor is Hanley Dirt Works Plus. The quote, skid loader operator for $95 an hour, plow truck with operator for $90 an hour, labor independent of that, so if we needed sidewalk support or anything like that, it's $58 an hour. Dump truck for hauling snow is $115 an hour. Now therefore it be resolved that the City Council does hereby award the backup snow removal contract to Hanley Dirt Work Plus on an as-needed hourly basis and as directed by Alburnett Public Works staff. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2024-44 as read?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-44, snow removal backup.
Motion by Bozenberg, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Myers, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is resolution 2024-45, approving health and dental insurance renewal. So, this is something, our insurance renews on January 1st. If we are looking to make any kind of change, they were hoping to have that at least 30 days to be able to process that change, which is why it's on our current agenda. So I will direct you to, oh, the spreadsheet didn't make it in.
Oh, this one,
The
T4?
tables?
No, we had more for you.
Would you like me to print those?
No, I can just pull it up, that's. Give me 1 second here. I swear I saw it in here. It was and now it's not. Essentially, our current plan, there is, and you'll see it on, for health insurance specifically, so this is on page 54. We currently have the top plan, the HG 13. There is a almost 19% increase on our premiums this year. The representative did come and talk to us about this and explained it. So there was a base increase of almost 6%, so that was across the board. And then we had like 12.5% because of claims, which he said is the maximum that they can increase that. It just is what it is. So that reflects the increase there. We do have the opportunity to move among any of these plans within this Blue Advantage Plus and maintain our grandmothered status on our health insurance plan. So there's no risk if we wanted to move. I have worked with staff because as much as there would be an impact to city budget, we generally budget 10% increase. I think that's what we usually see on health insurance. So 18-19% is a little higher than what we've budgeted. But anyone that is leveraging family coverage, whether it be for a spouse or for children, pays that premium out of pocket. We only pay for the employee premium, so that would mean that they're also shouldering an almost 19% increase. So I worked with staff. We are recommending that we move down just one level to the HG 14. There's a slight increase to the deductible and out-of-pocket maximum. The co-insurance stays the same, as does their copay, and then that's only a 12% increase on what our current premium is. Questions, comments?
Honestly, I think the most important input on this is what we hear from the staff, so if that sounds doable to them, then I'm in favor with moving to that tier.
I mean, you're welcome to add anything, but we did have discussions about it, and so from what I'm hearing, they're comfortable with that level. It's otherwise the same, like, same network and those types of things, so.
Right.
For dental, which is on page 55, we are currently on the second plan down, the 101 plan. The only difference between that and the top tier plan is orthodontics. And we don't currently have any dependents. Orthodontics only covers children. Adult orthodontics are never covered by any insurance. And we don't have any dependents that have that need at this time. And so we're fine at the tier 101. There's actually no change in our premium, in the employee premium between the two, but there is on the family coverage. So no sense in spending that. So we would recommend no change to the current dental plan, and there was no increase to our premiums there. That'll stay flat. So dental's easy. We left a blank in the resolution itself, so that if you guys did want to make a change, you have the opportunity, but I would recommend that we stay with our current plan for dental.
Does the medical include pharmaceutical in too, or is that different?
Yes, yeah, pharmaceuticals in there too.
Okay.
And I think most of that falls under the copay.
Copay, okay.
It was a really good visit. Our representative came out and learned a bunch of stuff about telehealth and what our network means and all this kind of stuff. So it was actually nice to have a sit down with him.
Yeah, if you look, it looks like there is a drug ID in the bottom right-hand
Oh,
corner.
I see that, yeah. Looks like there's only one
And that
option.
looks like that's just
Yeah.
what they couple with whatever you choose.
Yeah, he didn't make any, he didn't say anything about a change to prescription coverage.
Well, I think if staff's okay with that change in the medical, I think that's fine, the dental's great, so.
Okay. Well, I will read Resolution 2024-45, approving city employee health and dental insurance plan renewal. So whereas the city of Alburnett, Iowa provides health and dental insurance to its employees as part of its employee benefit package to ensure their well-being and to remain competitive in retaining and attracting qualified staff. And whereas the city council has reviewed the current employee health and dental insurance policy, including premium cost, plan coverage, and options for the upcoming calendar year beginning January 1, 2025. And whereas the city council recognizes the need to balance quality insurance coverage with fiscal responsibility to the city's budget and the taxpayers, now therefore it be resolved that the city council of the city of Alburnett, Iowa does hereby select well-marked Blue Cross Blue Shield Health Plan HG 14. So health plan HG 14 and dental plan DG 101. Approval of premium rates. The employee health and dental insurance premium contributions for eligible city employees shall be adjusted effective January 1, 2025 as outlined in the attached Schedule A based on the recommended plan options. Employee contribution rates for health and dental insurance shall only apply if the employee elects health and/or dental coverage for their spouse and/or children. The health and dental insurance plans offered shall be updated to reflect any changes in coverage or benefits as deemed necessary and approved by the council in accordance with the best available options and the city's budgetary capacity. And the city administrator or their designee is hereby authorized to execute any necessary documents or agreements with the insurance providers to implement the approved premium rates and coverage adjustments effective January 1, 2025. And the city shall ensure that employees are notified of the changes to their insurance premiums and plan options, providing them with sufficient time to make informed choices. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-45 as read?
So
Moved by Myers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trum. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Okay. Resolution 2024-46, you're gonna be on page 56 of your packet. This is approving a city park engineering contract. So, we did post the request for qualifications that was approved by council at the last meeting. We got, so it was posted on the city website, in the Gazette, as well as around town. Quite a bit of interest. I think I talked to 5 or 6 different firms. We did receive proposals from 3 of those firms. So those are Endeavor Civil Engineering, HR Green, and MSA. I have those printed if you need to look at them, but I know they were sent as an attachment to your packet. It added like 200 pages to your packet, so we didn't think that was quite necessary. but we will make those available if you need a copy. I will say that I had, I talked to HR Green. They also were involved in the design of the park, so they probably had the fewest questions, just because they're most familiar with the project, and the point that we're at right now. I had a phone call with Endeavor, as they were interested in the project, and then received their proposal. And we had 2 meetings with MSA to kind of walk through what it is intended to look like, so that they could formulate their proposal. So, all 3 of these, we did have contact with, and they had an opportunity to ask questions to make sure we were all on the same page. Any questions, comments on the proposals themselves?
We know anybody that's used Endeavor?
I mean, they provided references.
Besides what's in there, yeah.
I did not get a chance to call their references. What I will say is, the ones they provided were not entirely related. I mean, I don't feel like they had a really good like-for-like project.
Structure, I didn't notice where they were dealing with too much for structures in there.
Well, and even park design, I feel like park design is a thing of its own. So as you'll see in the resolution, they are the lowest bid. But their references were a trail restoration in Dubuque County to restore a stream along a trail. They had river access, so essentially like a boat launch, and then a campground plan. So I am a little hesitant in their experience with park design and execution.
That's what I thought, I didn't see a whole lot with them, so.
Yes.
Reason why I asked.
HR Green and MSA both had very good examples that they were able to provide. We've worked with both firms. I'd be comfortable with either.
Could you pass those down?
Yes, absolutely. Feel free to flip through.
You know, HR Green has more, more knowledge than anybody about this up to this point, so I'm leaning towards them, I guess.
They do have the most experience. What I will say is, their design came in at $900,000. So they also know, I told
We
all.
don't know that,
Well, that's what, the design they gave us is
Right.
that's what it's priced at.
but, okay.
So
Okay, and, all right,
I informed all the firms that I talked to that our budget is $350. So they're also well aware, and it was in their proposal that we'd have to do some, value engineering and see where we can, make some cuts, so.
you can't buy a fire department for $500,000. You know that.
So,
Yeah,
I know we talked about trees in there.
yeah,
And we don't need that many trees at the price that they
well, I
charge.
think that could all be hashed out in the
Yeah.
planning.
yeah, we'll finalize that plan, but, all the firms were given that same budget, so they're all aware of where we're at. So
they-
it is gonna take someone with a knowledge of parks to help us hit that budget. It's an aggressive budget.
Yeah. So everybody's on the same information that we're looking at that type of budget. so.
Yes. Yep, and that was pre-proposal, so that was factored into their proposal.
I guess that comes back to the same thing, HR Green's familiar with this and everything, they've got a lot, they've got some work done on it. so. Yeah, I like the proposal for the Endeavor, it's nice and short and sweet, but like you said, they were dealing with some other county construction that wasn't quite like our park.
So we did leave blanks within the resolution, because we can go pleasure of the council on this one, so. I will read it if there's any, unless there's other questions, comments, discussion. And just ask whoever makes the motion to fill in the blanks. So before I do that, anything stick out to you?
No, I'm kind of with Joe on this, and that HR Green probably has the best feel for city of Alburnett right now.
Yeah.
Given how much time they've put in working on projects in this town, and it might be good just if there is any type of hiccup or anything like that, you know, they have the backstory of whatever might be overlapping into that, so.
TJ, anything? Are you ready for the resolution?
No, I think for the small increase with what they have as a background, yeah, I think they're the most appropriate option.
Well, resolution 2024-46 is accepting and awarding the engineering contract for the city park project, whereas the city of Alburnett, Iowa is committed to enhancing public spaces for the benefit of its residents and visitors through the development of a city park. And whereas the city park project has already begun with a preliminary design but requires professional engineering services to complete the design, provide construction management, and ensure the successful execution of the project. And whereas the city prepared a request for qualifications, RFQ, for engineering firms to submit their qualifications to provide such services, and the city posted notification on the city's website and in 3 public places for the RFQ. Whereas 3 quotes were received and are as follows: Endeavor Civil Engineering for $43,200, HR Green for $45,000, and MSA for $51,700. Now therefore it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Alburnett, Iowa has reviewed the proposals and does hereby award the city park engineering contract to blank in the amount of blank. I'm hearing HR Green in the amount of $45,000. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2024-46 with HR Green and $45,000 in the blanks?
So,
Moved by Trum, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Bozenberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Alright, next item on the agenda is alcohol license renewal for Gibby's Place. So you do have the application from the Alcohol Beverages Division on page 57 and 58. The certificate of insurance is on page 59. That was provided directly from Neighbor Insurance. So there are no changes to the service. As a reminder, when it comes to alcohol licensing, the local authority may consider the following factors when approving, including but not limited to amount of financial support and operating funds, prompt payment of state and local taxes, fees and charges for municipal utilities and services, prompt payment of licensing fees and any administrative penalties. When evaluating a person's good reputation, the local authority may consider such factors, but not limited to if the person has a history of showing disregard for the law, has convictions for selling alcoholic beverages to underage or intoxicated people, has a history of operating the vehicle while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. I will say we've not received any complaints or concerns about this particular establishment, and I would recommend that we renew the alcohol license for Gibby's Place effective, I think it's December 1st. 2024 through November 30th, 2025. I would seek a motion.
I move we renew the alcohol license for Gibby's Place.
Motion by Trum, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by West, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Alright. We are moving on to old business. Item A, discussion and possible action regarding the water drainage issue on Longworth Avenue. So, last we met, we authorized we had already had the camera work done by Roto-Rooter, and then it was, let's see what options, what it's gonna take to get this fixed. So, Max talked to a couple of contractors. I do not have this as a resolution just yet. I'm not overlooking the fact that previous council has mentioned this is not within the council's jurisdiction, so I'm still respecting that, we'll have to take that action to actually state that, yes, we're gonna fix this. I have provided the ordinances that I do believe it is, but what you do have is one quote on page 60 of your packet from an excavating company. So, Mac, do you wanna take them there and tell them kind of what they're seeing and talking about as a potential solution?
This company, he walked it and he thinks regrading it would be the best solution, making some, depending on between the fences, it's hard to explain, it's very tight. He wants to reshape that as more like a ditch or a swale for help with drainage, and then just work it all the way back to the whole problem area to this regrade, and thinks that'll take care of it. I met with Pierce Tobin Construction as well, they had that as an option, and they weren't able to get me numbers yet. He talked about potentially putting a tile in, but staying out of the utility easement and coming back into people's yards a little bit to avoid all the utilities, but he was gonna work numbers and logistics to see if that was even possible. So he had two potential options, but they both said regrade, and they think that would take care of it.
So in this regrade area are the utility easements in that area?
Yeah, it's right between the fences, right in the utilities.
It's right on top of the utility easement?
Right on top of the utilities, yeah.
That'll be fun.
So would they be able to do that without taking out fences? They gonna have to, the owner's gonna have to take out the fences, or what?
Brian Beatty, he acted like he could get in there with small enough equipment to regrade it without taking fences out, but I'm not exactly sure, I guess.
I think there's only, I'm trying to envision it, 2 properties where it's fences on both sides. Other than that, it's at least open on one side.
Yeah,
Or the other.
it's 2 or 3 where it's fence to fence.
And the issue is that it just, people have worked in there and it just doesn't drain properly now. I mean, they've tried to do some things. If that was just graded without a tile, your opinion, do you think that'd get the water off there sufficiently, or do you think we might need a tile?
I think the area between the fences would, I think regrading would work, because it looks like if it's just gullied or somebody dug it out eventually, been years past trying to fix it,
Yeah,
it's
they've made a mess.
below the tile, if that makes
Okay.
sense. So like
Yeah.
if we brought it up and it could run
If-
into it,
They've messed it up by fooling around with it, but if it's
yeah, there's not enough fall now.
Yeah,
So I think if we could, I mean, we didn't take any measurements on the fall,
Okay.
but if we could get it with the right elevation, I think it would definitely help. I think that would be not temporary, but I think a tile would be a long-term, permanent, solution, but I think the grading would definitely help.
Yeah, given the utilities back there, it's gonna be extensive.
you know, in the past, we've kind of said, well, that's the landowner's issue, but that's something that probably should have been fixed right away with the original construction, and it wasn't caught at the time.
Well,
Huh?
there's just there are so many individual homeowners that you have to work with on that project that you kind of need to bump it up to a municipal
Well,
level project to,
I'm looking at it from, it wasn't done right the first time,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
didn't catch it, or the engineer didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Maybe that falls on us more than I would have expected before.
Yeah, our ordinance does state that we have to provide drainage, and it's not on the street side, so the way I interpret this would be the drainage utility, that would be our
There was drainage attempted at some point, I don't know where, I mean, because we do have the tile running through the problem area.
Okay.
It's just, the 4-inch tile's been compromised so many times that it's not running at all.
So the one thing I know is that a lot of the gutters on the homes on both sides goes into that tile. So when it rains, it's not just surface water, it's also
No.
running into the tile. So anywhere there's a break, it's gonna push the water out. Or
So that's compounded the drainage system several fold from what it was originally.
I think there's one house at least too that has their sump pump hooked into the tile. There's a tile that just kinda runs along the surface that has sump pump hooked into it.
Okay, yeah.
Which, since it's storm, that should be fine. They just can't put it in the sanitary.
Yeah,
sewer.
I just mean it's compiling.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
compiling to, it's not just rainfall, it's,
yeah.
Groundwater too, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
pumping
groundwater
water being
seems to
pumped
run.
out there.
all the time
Mhm.
and don't quit. Yeah, so.
Okay, well, I was not anticipating any action tonight, I just wanted to get this quote and kind of what discussions we've had thus far, and, I'd like to at least see what Pierce Tobin comes back with, and what they think can be done there as well, to have more than one solution.
They haven't surveyed it for drainage though, have they?
No, they
Make
just
sure
want,
there's enough drainage. You know what I'm saying, if they build it up, if they,
they walked the site with me and he was gonna crunch numbers and do all that, but he had other commitments come up, so he wasn't able to get me data before the meeting.
yeah, like, the fall, if it's gonna make it with the fall, before we put, $8,000 into it and then don't have enough fall.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and realistically, we have time on this, like, we're not gonna do anything before spring, and we've communicated with the few homeowners that I have, that have explicitly complained, I've talked to them, kinda let them know the timeline, so we can continue to fine tune this and make sure it is perfect.
Pierce Tobin is the other contractor that's expressed some interest in this.
Yeah, I
Is
reached out,
there anybody else then?
I reached out to 2 others and didn't get a response.
Okay.
There was talk between both companies about making a rock like swale back there too, but I think based on Brian's quote, he's leaning towards keeping it turf as far as just maintenance. You're gonna have stuff clogging up the rock swale and stuff. It just would be, I think he settled on keeping it turf.
And my concern with the rock swale is if they do have to do any work in the easement from a utility standpoint, now we're having to replace.
That'd be
I
fine.
can all that does good.
Yeah.
Rocks together, weeds and everything else.
Yeah,
and
getting all the rock in there is gonna be, I think it was gonna be just not cost effective.
Alright, well, I'm hearing carry forward with Discovery and we'll come up with some options and keep talking about it. Alright, hey friends, that's it, that was a big agenda. We're down to final comments. Counselor Trump, do you have anything to add?
I still think we're making progress.
It feels like it.
It's slow, but it keeps coming. Good.
Counselor
At
Billsburg?
this time,
Counselor West?
I have to agree, I feel like we're moving forward now, or at least feels like it more, so. And thank you for being on the team,
Thanks for having me.
thanks for staying.
You wanna see progress, you should see the list I made her.
I'm scared her away yet.
Nope.
No,
Good.
every morning she comes in, you showed up.
You're back.
Just writing on the list, making eye contact, like, it's too much.
Counselor Myers, any comment?
No, it does feel like feels like we're addressing things that are maybe like tier 2 or tier 3 and not dealing with like tier 1 emergencies and things that have to be addressed, but now with this drainage, like things that should have been addressed, and that's nice, People always complain about paying taxes, but if we can show them that we're doing something with it, that's a good thing, so.
Awesome. Mac, any final comments? Verna, anything? Rebecca? Alright. That will confirm the date and time of our next meeting is December 12th, 2024 at 7 p.m. and I would seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Bozenberg, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Myers, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries, it is 7:59 PM. We are adjourned.